After years of fighting, Hayes Street Bridge land will become a public park. The state investigates the death of a 15-year-old foster girl at a San Antonio treatment center. And Schlitterbahn sells its new Braunfels and Galveston water parks. This is your Express Briefing podcast for Friday, June 14th. Subscribe to this and other free content at expressnews.com/podcasts. And get each day's top news and sports headlines delivered to your inbox at expressnews.com/newsletters. After a years-long legal battle, neighborhood activists who oppose the construction of an apartment complex near the Hayes Street Bridge will get what they've sought all along: a public park. Activists oppose developer Mitch Mayer's plans to develop the apartment building on the property, which was supposed to become a park before the city sold it in 2012. And San Antonio officials now hope Thursday's approval of a land swap deal will satisfy activist demands and convince them to drop their lawsuit against the city. City officials sought to solve the 7-year-long legal fight after the Texas Supreme Court sided with the activist group in March, ruling that San Antonio did not have governmental immunity and that activists could sue the city. While so far representatives of the Hayes Street Bridge Restoration Group have stopped short of saying they will drop the suit, they have noted they likely won't pursue further action if the land becomes a park as promised. Under the deal, Mitch Mayer will give the city the 1.7-acre lot at 803 North Cherry Street in exchange for 2 acres out of a 3.9-acre lot the city owns at 223 South Cherry Street. A city-conducted property appraisal valued the 2-acre lot Mayer will receive at $2.6 million. The land had been assessed at $3.4 million before Mayer agreed not to build his complex taller than 5 floors, a limitation that brings down the parcel's value. The city agreed to give Mayer a 1.7-acre portion of the property and threw in an additional 0.3 acre so the developer would agree to the height restriction. Mayer will also keep $1.2 million in city housing incentives. Officials had promised him to build the complex on the land near the Hayes Street Bridge. Child Protective Services is investigating the death of a 15-year-old girl at Hector Garza Residential Treatment Center in San Antonio. The girl reportedly died by suicide on Sunday, and the Department of Family and Protective Services investigates any death in foster care to determine whether abuse or neglect occurred. Hector Garza can house up to 139 children between the ages of 10 and 17 who are experiencing emotional, behavioral, psychological, educational, and social problems. While state officials won't say where the girl was from or how long she had been in foster care, a person with knowledge of the treatment center says the teenager is not from Bexar County. Currently, 14 other foster children from the area are said to be living at Hector Garza Center. The facility is part of Pennsylvania-based Abrajas Youth and Family Services, which is a subsidiary of the GEO Group, a private company known for operating jails and immigration detention facilities. Hector Garza Center has been cited 49 times for violating state standards over the past 3 years. The most recent citations are from March, when a staff member used excessive physical force while restraining a child, and another was left behind in his room while other residents were taken to school. And Schlitterbahn Water Parks and Resorts, which has dealt with a gruesome death, indictments, and financial troubles in recent years, is selling a chunk of its holdings, including its flagship water park, for $261 million, with Ohio-based Cedar Fair Entertainment Company planning to acquire the company's new Braunfels Park and Resort, as well as its Galveston Park. The late Robert Henry opened Schlitterbahn in New Braunfels in 1979. While the water park grew into one of the city's premier attractions, the company has remained in the family. However, now the Henry family says it's been looking for a buyer for the property since last year. while Schlitterbahn's new Braunfels and Galveston venues reportedly drew 1.2 million guests last year and generated annual revenue of $68 million. Schlitterbahn struck the deal to sell both in order to fight the company's growing debts. In New Braunfels, the water park plays a significant part in the local economy, with city officials calling the venue one of the area's largest employers. But despite that success, Schlitterbahn has struggled to recover from an incident in 2016 when 10-year-old Caleb Schwab was decapitated on a water slide at its Kansas City park. While in February, a judge dismissed the criminal charges against the slide's designers and others, the damage to the company could not be undone. Schlitterbahn will continue to operate its South Padre Island water park and resorts, though Cedar Fair still has an option to buy the company's Kansas City, Kansas location for $6 million. And that's your daily San Antonio Express briefing for Friday, June 14th. Subscribe to this and other free content at expressnews.com/podcasts.